Part 84. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 831. Return to your residence. Xiao Xian was a little worried at first, thinking that he would fight so hard with Elder Lihuo this time and even seriously injure his opponent. Qinghua Academy may not ignore it. At the very least, he should be punished or something. But Xiao Xian no longer cares about this. The thing has been done anyway. Is it possible that if you regret it, there will be good results? However, the only thing he is a little worried about now is the baptism of heavenly flames. Qinghua Academy won't disqualify him, right? As for the injuries on his body, with the help of the little green colorful aura, he almost recovered quickly. It was not as expected by Xiao Xian. This battle between him and Elder Lihuo caused an uproar in the entire Qinghua Academy. I heard that even Qinglong had asked about this matter. But in the end no one looked for him. Even Master Wu Meng has not come back. It is said that Qinghua College encountered some trouble at the All-Region Conference. This is really no small matter. Although Qinghua Academy is not the #1 sect in Mingzhou territory, it still has some status. Ordinarily, it would be a big competition like the global conference. Qinghua College should not be ignored. So, what kind of trouble can we encounter at the global conference? In the next few days, because Wu Meng was away, Xiao Xian went to the teaching academy to teach Taoism every day, as if he wanted to pay the 1 million Tao stone tuition fee. As the baptism of heavenly flame approaches, various disciples in Qinghua Academy also ignited their fighting spirit to practice, pestering Xiao Xian every day to study in various ways. For these disciples, Xiao Xian accepted it with ease. Anyway, before the baptism of Tianyan, he had not thought about breaking through to the Blue God realm, so he simply concentrated on teaching the students. This also counts as building a good relationship with the disciples below you. This is still very beneficial to future development. And now, because of the previous experience of fighting Elder Lihuo, Professor Xiao Xuanyi's status in the college has also been greatly improved. He can feel it. Some professors felt as if they were seeing an evil god when they saw him, with respect and admiration on their faces. After all, he is the one who has the courage and ability to beat Elder Agni on the fighting stage. Maybe it's just Xiao Xian. Master Xiao, I dare to ask, what is the core beauty of this yin-yang stealth technique? Why can't I even get started after practicing for a month? Asked a beautiful and luxuriously dressed female student. Yin-yang stealth technique. The core of it is also very simple. It is nothing more than the understanding of the two characters yin and yang. The deeper the understanding of these two characters, the deeper the cultivation of yin and yang stealth technique will be. Xiao Xian explained, between heaven and earth, everything is divided into yin and yang. As long as your identity is yin and yang, you can integrate into the yin and yang of heaven and earth. Xiao Xian was the clan leader before, and there were hundreds of people in the clan at first. At this moment, in front of his students, he gave a lecture with great experience. At this time, he talked eloquently and made the students nod frequently. Not long after, it will also attract the attention of many disciples and even other professors. Within the Professor Academy, Xiao Xian is definitely the most famous professor now, and some students under other professors will sneak in to steal his teachings. In this regard, Xiao Xian is not stingy. There is no distinction between education and distinction. As long as someone asks questions, he will tell you everything he knows. In fact, he was a little bit dumbfounded about this. To be honest, he was not originally from this continent, and his understanding of the Great Dao only lasted for more than half a year. Do not know either. How would these students react if they knew that Xiao Xian only had such a short experience in cultivating Taoism? I never thought there would be such a wonderful understanding of the road. Thank you so much, Senior brother Xiaoxian, no, Master Xiao. Master Xiao can defeat elderly Huo. This understanding of the Great Road is definitely not something that ordinary people can achieve. Faced with the compliments of the previous group of disciples, Xiaoxian laughed it off. He also knows that although he has achieved some achievements on the Dao continent, this is only in the spiritual God realm. I want to explore the real secrets of the Dao on Dao continent. He still needs to work hard. Only by reaching the Golden God realm, Dragon God realm, or even a higher realm, can he possibly obtain the higher secrets on this continent. At first glance, this goal seems a bit ambitious. But Xiaoxian himself was very confident in his heart. He recalled that in the Tianyuan continent, he went from a clan leader who was about to exterminate his family to a great emperor who ruled an area. This kind of experience is not something that ordinary people can achieve. From this perspective, could it be that he couldn't recarve this road on the great Dao continent? Just when Xiaoxian was thinking secretly, suddenly there was a rush of footsteps outside, and several imposing disciples walked in. The bald man who took the lead was dressed in Xingyi. It was Qinglong, the top disciple of the inner sect. When such a person appears, anyone with a discerning eye can tell that he is coming with bad intentions. And now, within the Professor Academy, the most popular person is naturally Xiaoxian. That being the case, the people next to him also took a breath of air. Now that the baptism of heavenly flame is approaching, every disciple must avoid injury to the greatest extent and preserve his strength. I hope to get more opportunities in Tianyuan baptism. Qinglong, a great disciple of the inner sect, came to teach in the academy to cause trouble for Xiaoxian. I'm afraid, this is not a good sign. Junior brother Xiaoxian, I heard that you have become very popular in the professor's college recently. Qinglong looked around in the professor college, and finally focused on Xiaoxian. It was obvious that he was the target. For a person like Qinglong, Xiaoxian didn't have much favorable impression at all. Although there was an agreement with Wu Bingqing to kill him in the baptism of Tianyuan, this was a secret matter. If Wu Bingqing didn't say anything, this is also a secret between them. But now it seems that Qinglong knows something, and now he takes the initiative to come to the Professor Academy. What is the purpose of this? Is it possible that we have to fight him on the battlefield now? Yes, it's me. I don't know, what is the purpose of senior brother Qinglong coming here? Xiaoxian is neither humble nor arrogant. Although he is not among the inner disciples now, in terms of strength, except for Qinglong and Wu Bingqing, he is really not afraid of anyone else. It has no purpose. I'm just a little curious about how capable junior brother Xiaoxian is, so I came to learn. Qinglong took the initiative and said, Kong Dao and Meng Fan both want to challenge you. Look, do you think it's appropriate? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 832. Heard this, Xiaoxian was a little surprised. The baptism of Tianyuan is approaching, and most of the disciples of King Hua Academy do not want to create complications at this juncture. Even the usually bustling fighting stage was deserted. Now, Qinglong came with two guys, Kong Dao and Meng Fan. Anyone with eyesight can see it. The purpose of his coming here now is to cause trouble for Xiaoxian. If it were normal times, he might not care. It's just a fight, and he can accept being injured and defeated. But now, Xiaoxian's face turned a little solemn. Kong Dao and Meng Fan, one is the third in the inner sect and the other is the fourth in the inner sect. They are definitely the most powerful characters among the younger generation of disciples of King Hua Academy. Now that they appear, they actively want to challenge Xiaoxian? This is not a laid-out plan. Do you want to waste Xiaoxian's energy and fighting power before the baptism of Tianyuan? From a certain perspective, This is definitely a thankless task. Xiao Xian just defeated Elder Lihuo. Not to mention the momentum is booming. It can be regarded as proving one's strength. However, from King Glong's words, it turned out that Kong Dao and Meng Fan were going to challenge him today. Although I have heard of it before. Among the inner disciples, Kong Dao and Meng Fan are King Glong's younger disciples. These two guys didn't dare to disobey King Glong's words, but this was also a normal situation. Could it be said that before the baptism of Tianyan came, they also had this idea? This is somewhat unbelievable. Above the baptism of heavenly flames, each sect will form a secret exploration team, and the team will search for the essence of the Sky Flame Beast in the Sky Flame Pool. The stronger the team is, the more Sky Flame Beast spirits they can find. Now, the baptism of Tianyan is coming, and Kong Dao and Meng Fan come to challenge Xiao Xian. Isn't this an active internal fight? At that time, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. Isn't it all the power of King Hua Academy that has been lost? Could Dean Kanglong and the branch deans of other colleges just watch this happen? Think of this. A group of students and professors couldn't help but stare at each other. At the same time, he cast a doubtful look at Qinglong. Before, Qinglong was arrogant and domineering in the academy, and they could turn a blind eye. After all, King Glong's strength was there. But now, in the face of major events related to the reputation of the sect, Qinglong still insisted on going his own way, which made them a little dissatisfied. Rest assured, I, Qinglong, came today just to be a witness. I won't do anything myself. I just want to see how capable junior brother Xiao Xian is. Qinglong seemed to have noticed the unkind looks from the people around him, and took the initiative to say, "Today, I just want to see if junior brother Xiao Xian is as powerful as the legend says, and can even defeat Elder Lihuo. If you just want to see it, then there is no need for senior brother Qinglong to be here. I defeated Elder Agni. Many people saw it clearly at the time. There should be no need to question this, right?" Xiao Xian smiled slightly. Others are afraid of Qinglong, but he is not. He has even seen many powerful men in the Blue God realm, so what does a mere azure dragon mean? Dragon bloodline? Although he is very strong, who doesn't have some secret skills in his body? If it really comes down to a fight, he doesn't mind and uses a little trick to let this guy know that he is not someone to be trifled with. Good. She does have some backbone. In this case, you can choose an opponent between Kong Dao or Meng Fan. Qinglong gestured with his eyes. Kong Dao and Meng Fan also took the initiative to come forward. From the eyes of the two men, it was obvious that they had a strong desire to win in the next battle. Wrong. Xiao Xian calmed down a little. But he felt keenly that something seemed not quite right. You must know that Tianyan baptism is not only beneficial to the sect, but also has great benefits to those who participate. A baptism of heavenly flames. It is completely possible to achieve great perfection in the spiritual God realm and take advantage of the opportunity to break through to the Blue God realm. Could it be that both Kong Dao and Meng Fan have no desire for the Blue God realm? This is completely impossible. Unless, they can get something better from Qinglong. For a while, Xiao Xian was a little silent. If Qinglong really realized something, he might indeed do something against Tianyan before he was baptized. How? Still with the sarcasm on the face of all the disciples. After making trouble for a long time, this Qinglong is also a narrow-minded person. Qinglong saw Xiao Xian hesitate. He could also roughly guess the reason for King Glong's behavior. I want everyone in King Hua College to know what the consequences will be if you don't give me Qinglong face. This is a bit beyond my expectation. Qinglong calmed down his emotions a little and said in a deep voice, "You should know that Wu Bingqing is engaged to me, but you are still entangled with him. Isn't this not giving me face? Junior brother Xiao Xian, you still misunderstood? But, it seems that I am not competing for your position as the number one in the inner sect. Xiao Xian smiled slightly. However, it is just such a thing. Hear this. No, no, no. Xiao Xian shook his head and said, that's easy. Today I will announce that senior brother Qinglong is the well-deserved number one in the inner section. How about that? You didn't mean it? So, just because of a few words, senior brother Qinglong is so angry. Good. Today, in addition to this reason, there is also the matter of Wu Bingqing. Just because of the gossip of some college disciples, did he hate him? This is simply unbelievable. Xiao Xian fully understood. Qinglong's purpose is also very simple, which is to deliberately suppress Xiao Xian and destroy the reputation he has established in the professor's college. In this regard, Xiao Xian also frowned slightly. Qinglong sneered and said, however, other people in Qinghua Academy don't think so. They think that if you defeat Elder Lihuo, you are qualified to challenge me. This is something I can't stand. Qinglong shook his head. Junior brother Xiao Xian may not know that back then, I was able to become the number one disciple in the inner section. I don't know how many people competed with me during this process. Afraid. Interesting. It's just that last time, in Ziwixian Tower, he didn't give Qinglong face, and he still had a good relationship with Wu Bingqing. I have met some geniuses before, but I have never met one as cowardly as you. That's all. Besides, he doesn't have the strength. This made Qinglong jealous, and also made Xiao Xian's face look a little more contemptuous. So, senior brother Qinglong is really going to cause trouble for me. Ridicule in person. Taking it for granted meant that he was scared, and continued to taunt. I heard that to practice together, you should have more determination and perseverance. For people like you, I'm afraid the future will not last long. Can't you tell me? This is just a battle and a discussion. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 833. Hear these words. Xiao Xian was really dumbfounded. After so many years of experience, he could naturally see at a glance that Qinglong was just trying to inflict crimes. Although Xiao Xian and Wu Bingqing ate a lot of rice, the relationship is relatively close. But just a mission in the Lightning Strike land and a meal with Wu Bingqing could make Qinglong so angry? This is obviously a deliberate attempt to cause trouble. After all, Qinglong, as the top disciple of the inner sect, would not be so small even if he was narrow-minded. So to say. Senior brother Qinglong, are you really going to have trouble with me? Xiao Xian couldn't help but sneered. If the tiger doesn't show off his power, does he really think he is a sick cat? Unexpectedly, after just finishing Elder Lihuo, there are still people in Qinghua Academy who care about eating rather than fighting. That being the case, it seems like he really wants to give these people a memory. Alright. Since senior brother Qinglong has said so, then do I really want to go to the battlefield to carry it out? The people next to him were also secretly surprised by this. They didn't expect that Xiao Xian could be so straightforward. At this moment, a group of disciples were also talking about it, looking at Xiao Xian with surprise in their eyes. The baptism of heavenly flame is approaching soon. Every disciple conserves his or her strength as much as possible. Xiao Xian was so lucky that he actually agreed to someone else's challenge. Is this not leaving any room for yourself? Thinking of this, some professors also looked at each other, a little confused as to why Xiao Xian made such a choice. So, what exactly are your choices? After hearing these words, Qinglong almost couldn't help but smile inside. For such a long time, he has been the upright number one in the inner section with the dragon blood in his body, Basically no one is qualified to challenge him except Wu Bingqing. It's better now. Xiao Xian was provoking him again and again. Then, he would have to use some means to prove his status in Qinghua Academy. It's a little too slow to come one at a time. Since we want to challenge, let Kong Dao and Meng Fan come together. Xiao Xian smiled casually, this quick decision won't waste everyone's time, right? Say it. Once again, the people next to him were shocked. They all had incredible expressions on their faces, looking at Xiao Xian as if they were looking at a fool. Challenge together? Moreover, challenge two inner disciples together? What does Xiao Xian think he is? Are gods coming? You must know that although Kong Dao and Meng Fan are not as strong as Qinglong and Wu Bingqing, compared to other disciples and even other inner disciples, they can easily win. The third and fourth strengths of the inner sect are displayed here. Ordinary people are not their opponents. Under such circumstances, Xiao Xian actually said that he would challenge them at the same time. Doesn't this mean you don't take them seriously? Well, over the years, I have met many gifted disciples, but it is really rare for a gifted disciple as proud as you, junior brother Xiao Xian. Hearing Xiao Xian's words, Qinglong also laughed slightly. Then, when facing Xiao Xian, he said directly with a bit of coldness, however, I want to tell you that although Elder Lihuo is in the Blue God realm, his Blue God realm was forcibly improved by relying on secret medicine. As for strength, it's just an ordinary spiritual God realm great perfection. If you think that defeating Elder Lihuo is enough to make you proud, then you are wrong. Is it? Senior brother Qinglong is really an outspoken person. He actually told me such a secret without reservation. It seems that senior brother still trusts me very much. Hear these words. Xiao Xian also sneered slightly. In that case, then let's see the real chapter in our hands. Kong Dao and Meng Fan also stood up directly. But before they could step onto the fighting stage, several branch deans came to the door of the Professor Academy, and the leader turned out to be Kang Long. I've met Dean Kang Long. I've met Dean Kang Long. All the disciples quickly took the initiative to nod to Kang Long. Xiao Xian also stood aside obediently. When he looked up, he found that the faces of Kang Long and the deans were not good looking, and they also secretly felt guilty. This is before the baptism of Tianyan. The sects were supposed to unite and work together to deal with other sects, but now they are still fighting among themselves. Wouldn't that mean he cut off his own arm? Although Xiao Xian did not initiate this matter. Who knew he could be so incompetent? Yes. Weren't there 20 last year? Good. Kang Long's face was cold, and after scanning the crowd, he said, don't they all think that they are so powerful that they don't need to improve? But he also participated, and for a moment, Xiao Xian was really at a loss. He felt that Kang Long was so aggressive. This time our Qinghua College only has 5 places to enter the Tianyan baptism. What? If the top 5 inner disciples are really the only ones who can enter, wouldn't it mean that most of the disciples have no chance of being baptized by the heavenly flame? Each played 50 big boards. Kang Long also looked unkind, their appearance has changed the sex structure in Mingzhou territory. Xiao Xian also looked disdainful. But Soryu is the dean after all. Qinglong was very arrogant when facing Xiao Xian and others. What is this? Xiao Xian was secretly unhappy. Although it was just facing Qinglong. The baptism of heavenly flame is approaching. If you don't seize the time to improve your strength, are you still fighting among yourself here? But it was different when facing Kang Long, with a flattering look on his face, as if he were seeing his own father. It was obviously your good disciple Qinglong who took the initiative to provoke him, but why did he end up here? And it turned out that he was also at fault. Now there are only 5 people left? With such a small number, wouldn't our Qinghua Academy be greatly reduced in competitiveness in the baptism of Tianyan? Because recently, a new sect has emerged in the Mingzhou territory, the Qinglai Palace. With 5 people, can we only send the top 5 disciples from the inner sect? Bringing a group of branch deans here should be more than just for this trivial matter. But both inside and outside the words, Xiao Xian was also brought in. Qinglong, what are you doing? A word from Dean Kang Long. It seems that the inner disciples have all come together today. Kang Long glanced at the people around him and said, in that case, I also want to announce something. Speaking of which, since he has dragon blood, even though he is just an ordinary dragon, he should have some dragon backbone. It caused an uproar among the disciples and professors. He said this. He also didn't expect that this Qinglong would be so worthless. Even if he felt unhappy, he didn't say much. He just felt a little disdainful and continued to look at Kang Long. For a time, the atmosphere at the scene became depressing. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 834. Kang Long said these words. The eyes of everyone present gathered. Prior to this, Qinghua Academy, as the largest sect in the Mingzhou territory, still had some say in the Mingzhou territory. They are ordinary disciples. There are also qualifications to enter the baptism of Tianyan. But now, it seems a little different. After such operations, there was inexplicably an extra Qinglai palace in the Mingzhou domain, and as soon as the sect came, it took away the spot that originally belonged to them. How can this make them happy? Think of this. Some professors suddenly became dissatisfied. Xiao Xian was also a little puzzled. During the last trial in Qinglian Valley, he had also seen the strength of some of the major sects in the Mingzhou region. Shilong sect, Golden Blade sect, Snow Wolf sect and Xianming sect. In these sects, there are several powerful men in the Kengshen realm. These are also considered to be the most powerful sects in Mingzhou territory. Could it be said that these sects can watch helplessly as the places that originally belonged to them were taken away by other sects? This is absolutely impossible. Unless the strength of this Qinglai palace is too outstanding, it can greatly suppress the quota of other sects. If that's the case, this Qinglai palace is truly a behemoth. But, then Dean Kang Long, what are you going to do? Are you just going to send the top 3 from the inner sect to participate in the baptism of Tianyan? Asked a branch dean. Some unusual things seem to have happened in the inner gate recently. Kang Long did not agree directly, but asked, in this case, the candidates who will enter the baptism of Tianyan this time should be reselected. I wonder what the criteria for Dean Kang Long's reselection are? Is it a battle? The branch president continued to ask. The battle damage is too great. Besides, it's easy to get injured, so let's simply compete in strength. Kang Long hesitated for a moment and said, the 5 disciples with the strongest Taoist power can get the quota for the baptism of Tianyan. Hear this. Xiao Xian nodded secretly. He could roughly judge that Kang Long had no choice. After all, the baptism of Tianyan is coming soon. If a general selection is held among the sect, not to mention the lack of time, even if there is this time, the disciples selected in the end will definitely be scarred. Even a strong man like Qinglong. If you want to defeat so many Qinghua Academy disciples, you may have to pass 5 levels and kill 6 generals. On the contrary, if you use Kang Long's method, things will be much simpler, only 1 Daoli stone is needed. Measure the power of the avenue in each person. You can also know how strong it is. Although it is said that the power of the avenue is not the only criterion for judging the strength of a cultivator. But it is undeniable that a cultivator with strong power of Dao will definitely not be weak in strength. At this point, this can be seen from Qinglong and Wu Bingqing. Of the 2 of them, one is the great perfection of the spiritual god realm with the blood of the dragon, and the other is the great perfection of the spiritual god realm with the body of water. Both of them are recognized as the most powerful young people in Qinghua Academy. That's fine. This can also avoid some people who rely on Taoism and pretend to be good. Qinglong nodded secretly and responded with a smile, I wonder when this Tao power test will start? The disciple has been practicing Tao power these days and has some understanding. Take a break today. Tomorrow, in the meeting hall, test the power. After Qinglong finished speaking, he looked around and said, I hope you will convey this to each other and ask all disciples to come and participate tomorrow. Say it. The professors and students present were also secretly stunned. Relying on the power of the great Dao, from a certain perspective, this can be regarded as a selection method acceptable to them. I really want to talk about it. Top inner sect disciples like Qinglong and Wu Bingqing are not only extremely powerful in Taoism, but they are also outstanding in Taoism. Other ordinary disciples, if not really powerful, have a shocking level of power. They won't be their match at all. Therefore, basically no one objected to Qinglong's suggestion. Qinglong, on the other hand, looked at Xiao Xian with a look of regret. In his opinion, today was originally a good opportunity to teach Xiao Xian a lesson, but in the end he missed it inexplicably. Maybe this disappointed him somewhat. But in front of Qinglong, didn't say much, just shook his head with regret, turned around and left. After this group of people left, Xiao Suanke slowly returned to his position. Around him, a group of his students and disciples gathered in unison. These days, Xiao Xian's unreserved teaching of experience has gained the respect and love of these disciples. They found out. Professors like Xiao Xian are completely different from other professors. In addition to providing some help in Taoism, Xiao Xian can also offer some thought-provoking philosophies on the path of cultivation. These philosophies sound straightforward. But when you really understand it, you will know that it means something profound. Master, you said, can you be selected into the top 5 in this Dao power selection? A disciple asked carefully. Of course. Our master can defeat Elder Agni. Isn't it easy to win? Apart from Qinglong and Wu Bingqing, I feel that master should be the strongest professor. Kong Dao and Meng Fan should not be underestimated either. Who knows if there will be a dark horse qualifying? In previous years of Tianyuan's baptism, there will always be a talented dark horse qualifying, and this time may be no exception. All the disciples were talking about it. But most of them are very sure that Xiao Xian will definitely occupy a place among the top 5. Long Ruoxiu was a little worried. She knew that Xiao Xian was not a person who gave in easily. Moreover, after defeating Elder Lihuo, he will definitely have a certain reputation in Qinghua College. Things have reached this point today. Maybe it would also be an opportunity for Xiao Xian to make a name for himself in the Mingzhou territory, or even in the eastern wilderness continent. But she was slightly worried. The Blue Thunder Palace that Dean Qinglong mentioned. Ruoxiu, what's wrong with you? Seeing Long Ruoxiu's frown, Xiao Xian also took the initiative to ask. Did you feel it? This time, the Qinglai Palace may be the biggest variable in the baptism of Tianyuan. Long Ruoxiu said, for a long time, the Righteous Way and the Xianming sect in the Mingzhou territory have been fighting constantly, and both sides are at odds with each other. But on the matter of Qinglai Palace, they can actually agree. This shows how strong you are, unfathomable. Miss Long Ruoxiu is far-sighted. It's really impressive. Yes, I also think that this Qinglai Palace is our biggest enemy in the Mingzhou territory, baptism in Tianyuan. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 835. The voice spoke. It also attracted the attention of the disciple next to him for a moment. When Xiao Xian turned around to check, he found that the person who came was none other than Wu Bingqing. Sister Wu. How did you come? Long Ruoxiu was stunned. As the eldest lady of the Long family, Long Ruoxiu also knows some secrets about the Mingzhou territory and the Eastern Barren continent. Qinglai Palace is a subordinate sect of Qinglai Palace. The Qinglai Palace is one of the three most powerful sects in the Eastern Wasteland. Perhaps, this is also the reason why those sects in Mingzhou territory will take the initiative to give in. Senior Sister Wu seems to know something. Is it this way? After hearing these words, Xiao Xian said directly with a serious look on his face, I think, as the second disciple of the inner sect, you should still know some unknown things, right? Say it. All the disciples' eyes instantly focused on Wu Bingqing. Apparently, they were also curious. Regarding this, Wu Bingqing also said directly with a bit of helplessness, I originally wanted to keep a secret, but who knew, you actually said it like this. What other secrets could there be? Isn't this a normal thing? Elder Qinglong is so anxious to talk about this matter. Do you think I will believe that nothing happened? Xiao Xian looked disdainful. Speaking of which, even if others wanted to say something more, they closed their mouths in the end and looked at Xiao Xian curiously. I want to see what else he has to say next. It depends on what you mean. Could it be that you have other ideas? Instead, Wu Bingqing began to lie, I generally know that you are a very mysterious person. Since this is the point of the conversation, just say it directly if you have anything to say. Me? What can I say? Xiao Xian shook his head, now I just want to hear, what do you think about this matter? I really don't have many ideas. What I'm most concerned about right now is how strong are they at Qinglai Palace. Xiao Xian's face was solemn. Before, he had heard some things about the major sects on the eastern wilderness continent. These major sects are all experts, with outstanding strength, standing at the top of the continent. For such an existence, most people would never dare to challenge casually. Not to mention those in the Blue God realm, even those in the Golden God realm must be respectful when facing such a sect. Perhaps, this is also the reason why they asked Kang Long and others to give in. Only when you reach the Golden God realm can you be qualified to talk to them. Wu Bingqing didn't say much. This simple sentence shocked everyone present. They had known about it before. There are 108 regions on the eastern wilderness continent, and the Mingzhou region is just one of them. Their Qinghua Academy may still have some say in the Mingzhou region. But in the entire eastern wilderness continent, it is completely a small sect. Even Elder Kang Long, a powerful man in the Kang God realm, is not qualified to talk to the real Qinglai Palace. Even facing a subordinate sect under Qinglai Palace, none have the ability to resist. This also made Xiao Xian feel a little sad and a little more awe in his heart. Such a powerful force. Can they really face it? For such a sect, perhaps most sects would be afraid and simply give up resistance. But Xiao Xian is different. On the contrary, he felt that it was not necessarily a bad thing for him that Qinglai Palace came to Mingzhou territory. On the contrary, it may be an opportunity. An opportunity for him to come into contact with the real major sect of the eastern wilderness continent. He doesn't care about the opportunities in those large sections. What he cares more about is that among these large sects, there must be an understanding of the origin of Dao continent. Qinglai Palace, Juxing Pavilion, Chixia Temple. These three truly powerful sects on the eastern wilderness continent should have a deeper understanding of the great Dao. After all, what troubled Xiao Xian was, now the system seems to have some secrets of its own, but it is unwilling to tell him, and there is nothing that can be done to make him angry. Are you interested in Qinglai Palace? Long Ruoxiu looked at Xiao Xian and suddenly said, you don't know how to enter Qinglai Palace, do you? How do you know everything? Xiao Xian was a little speechless. If I hadn't known Long Ruoxiu for a long time. He was a little suspicious now. Did Long Ruoxiu install a bug in his heart? He is also a strong man. It is clear. Wu Sheng. Not to mention, Xianming sect's current strength is obviously second to none in Mingzhou territory. Can they also easily defeat it? Although they are only in the spiritual realm now, they already have their own understanding of the Taoyuan. This is completely suspicious. Could it be that they are really willing to give up like this? Okay, it's not surprising that you have this idea. As the strongest sect on the eastern wilderness continent, King Glay Palace is naturally the target of many cultivators. King Hua Academy didn't seem to have any countermeasures. Not only King Hua Academy, but also Xianming sect, entering King Glay Palace is a dream for their disciples. Xiao Xian has no opinion on this. This is a matter of course. Under such circumstances, how does King Hua Academy plan to respond? King Glay Palace, as one of the most powerful sects on the eastern wilderness continent, naturally has high requirements for recruiting disciples. King Glay Palace has just arrived in the Mingzhou territory and has already taken up most of the Tianyuan baptism quota. In the future, it will definitely get its hands on other resources in the Mingzhou territory. The Kengshen realm they entered would not make unknown figures. But look at it now. Wu Bingqing smiled and said, but dreams are dreams and reality is reality. Their strength is still too weak. Guess. Long Ruoxiu smiled slightly. Xiao Xian and the disciples present were a little surprised. You know, now, the general spiritual realm is no match for Wu Bingqing and Qinglong. Xiao Xian couldn't help but said, in Tsinghua College, there are many old students who can enter the Blue God realm. Do they not have the idea to enter the King Glay Palace? Say it. This is obviously impossible. Could it be that the indigenous sects in Mingzhou territory would just sit back and wait for death? Entering the Blue God realm is a matter of course. But now, don't they have confidence in their own strength? But what he is a little curious about now is, on the contrary, he must be the best among the Blue God realm. If this is the case, King Hua Academy, Golden Blade sect, Shillong sect, and even Xianming sect will be completely destroyed. I must be awesome. Wu Bingqing instead said, however, if a Sanren wants to enter King Glay Palace, he should at least be in the Blue God realm. Of course. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 836. This is quite interesting. However, I have a question. If powerful disciples like you and Qinglong want to leave King Hua Academy and enter King Glay Palace, will Qinglong agree? Xiao Xian suddenly became more curious. You know, disciples with strength and talent, no matter which sect or academy they are placed in, are hot resources. With the qualifications of Qinglong and Wu Bingqing. Even if it is placed in King Glay Palace, it is still considered excellent. Naturally, King Glay Palace would not give up such a disciple, but, Xiao Xian was a little curious, would King Hua Academy release him? Of course I won't stop it. If Qinglong and I are willing, and King Glay Palace is willing to accept us, I'm afraid it's too late for King Hua Academy to be happy. Wu Bingqing said, how could you stop me? Say it. Not only Xiao Xian, but also the disciples next to him were stunned. For a moment, I didn't know what Wu Bingqing meant by this. It is said that a sect like King Hua Academy devoted all its efforts to training them. How could it be possible to let them go so easily? Isn't this a bit unlikely? Xiao Xian couldn't help but be a little curious and asked, you two are considered the most famous talented disciples in King Hua Academy. Can King Hua Academy let you go easily? This is a bit taken for granted. Let me ask, if King Glay Palace takes a fancy to us, can King Hua Academy not let us go? Wu Bingqing did not answer Xiao Xian's question, but asked proactively. Say it. The people next to him were stunned. Instead, Xiao Xian understood instantly. King Hua Academy and King Glei Palace are not at the same level of power. In front of King Glei Palace, King Hua Academy is completely worthless. Not to mention that King Glei Palace needs a few talented disciples. Even if King Glei Palace is directly destroyed and the disciples are snatched away, King Hua Academy seems to have nothing to say. On the mainland, whoever has a bigger fist speaks the truth. Everyone knows this very clearly. So there is nothing wrong with what Wu Bingqing said, and a small sect like King Hua Academy is eager to take the initiative to establish a relationship with King Glei Palace. If there are really disciples entering King Glei Palace, it's also a good thing for them. In the future, if these disciples can advance further among the major sects, it will naturally be a great good thing for them. Even one day in the future, the achievements of these disciples will definitely give back to King Hua College. King Hua College will not refuse such a beneficial and harmless thing. Figure out the stakes. Xiao Xian also nodded secretly and said, so, it is also a good opportunity for King Glei Palace to enter the Mingzhou domain. Good. As far as I know, Wu Sheng from Xianming sect, Meng Shui from Snow Wolf sect, and a large number of talented disciples from other sects are all staring closely at King Glei Palace. Wu Bingqing said, they all hope to take this opportunity to enter the King Glei Palace or even the King Glei Palace to explore a greater avenue. Say these words. Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. He also knew that in order to advance further in cultivation on such a great continent, in addition to having perseverance, sometimes some external forces are also needed. So, it's not a big deal if you want to enter King Glei Palace, Wu Bingqing said. King Hua Academy will also support you. As long as I have enough strength, right? Xiao Xian knew that Wu Bingqing had not finished her words. Good. As long as you have enough strength. Wu Bingqing nodded. With your strength, there will definitely be no problem in entering the Tianyan baptism this time. I am here today to discuss cooperation with you. She said this. The people next to me were still a little surprised. Before, there were also well-informed disciples who knew that Xiao Xian and Wu Bingqing had cooperated in the Lightning Strike land. They have a good relationship. But even so, they didn't expect Wu Bingqing to be so proactive. He even took the initiative to come to Xiao Xian and seek cooperation. Isn't this a bit weird? Are you speaking on behalf of yourself? Xiao Xian frowned slightly. Isn't it a bit unnecessary for you to cooperate with me? Among the disciples of our King Hua Academy who have entered the baptism of Tianyan, we should have cooperated with each other. Instead, Wu Bingqing gave Xiao Xian a big roll of his eyes. Do you really believe in that guy Qinglong? What's happening here? This, senior sister Wu Bingqing actually took the initiative to find Xiao Xian to cooperate. It sounds like this Xiao Xian is really favored by senior sister Wu Bingqing. Wu Bingqing said this. All the disciples also looked envious. Within King Hua College, Wu Bingqing is the goddess among the old students, and Long Ruoxiu is the goddess among the freshmen. It's better now. Xiao Xian alone has two beautiful goddesses. Not only that, he is also so powerful. Isn't such a person a sure winner in life? How can such a person not be envied? Ahem, do you agree or not? After seeing the appearance of the disciples around him, Wu Bingqing felt a little embarrassed and couldn't help but urge Xiao Xian. Promise. Why don't you agree? Since I have a beautiful woman to accompany me, why wouldn't I do it? Xiao Xian smiled. Besides, I am indeed not very familiar with Tianyan baptism. It would be great if I could have your help. Every woman likes to be praised for her good looks. Although Wu Bingqing has always been surrounded by men who compliment her, she felt very comfortable when she was praised by Xiao Xian. After getting Xiao Xian's answer, Wu Bingqing no longer hesitated, twisted her delicate body, turned around and left. Xiao Xian was originally a celebrity in the professor's college, but now that Wu Bingqing has participated, he has attracted the envious eyes of many disciples. Even Long Ruoxiu looked at him with a strange expression. Ahem. Don't look at me like that. She and I just have a normal relationship, don't think too much. Xiao Xian quickly explained. However, before he could finish speaking, Long Ruoxiu next to him had narrowed eyes and said, "It seems that none of us said that your relationship with him is unusual, right? Have to. Got hooked." Xiao Xian was a little embarrassed. He knew that whether it was Wu Bingqing or Long Ruoxiu, these two women were not fuel-efficient lamps. He is in it. You may make some mistakes if you are not careful. However, these two women are both ice and snow smart. As long as he makes a slight mistake, no matter how small the mistake is, he may be caught tightly. So he still felt embarrassed. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 837. Hey hey. This is the first time I have seen Master Xiao Xian so embarrassed. Ha ha ha, it's natural to be embarrassed when two beauties are in front of you. Isn't this normal? If it were me, I would be shy too. Next to Xiao Xian. Some disciples also joked one after another, fearing that the world would not be in chaos. Hearing these words, Long Ruoxiu looked calm, but still smiled a bit, and said directly, "If you don't have enough ability, it's better not to use two boats." After saying that, she also left Chiron. Say it. The disciples present were shocked again. Even Xiao Xian was stunned and looked at Long Ruoxiu's leaving figure in disbelief. He also didn't expect that Long Ruoxiu would be so straightforward. She said she won't let her step into two different boats? So, the implication is that you can ride on a boat? Which boat should I take? Wu Bingqing or Long Ruoxiu? I have to say, these two are great beauties. If he wanted to accept one of these two beauties, would it be reasonable? Ahem. Master Xiao Xian, you must think carefully. Senior sister Wu Bingqing and senior sister Long Ruoxiu are both very good, it depends on your choice. Indeed, but this matter still depends on how Master Xiao Xian chooses. I'm so envious. We can't pursue one of them, but Master Xiao Xian can pursue two at the same time. It's so annoying to compare people to each other. After a group of disciples discussed it, they all took the initiative to leave with smiles on their faces. Regarding what these disciples said, Xiao Xian couldn't help but shake his head. He really didn't have much thought about emotional matters now. Now, he works so hard. The purpose is just to gain his own power and explore the fundamental secrets of the Dao continent, nothing more. He really hadn't thought about other things. Unexpectedly, he actually provoked two such beauties at the same time. Regarding this, perhaps he will have to find a way to explain his identity and purpose in the future. Maybe this is crueler. But there are some things he still has to do. The next day, a huge Doli stone stands in the square outside the meeting hall. Seeing this stone, Xiao Xian was also secretly surprised. Before, he thought that the Daoli stone should be just an ordinary stone, not too big, but now it seems that it is not what he thought. And those who participate in the power test, there didn't seem to be as much as he thought. There were only a few dozen people. This number is just the tip of the iceberg compared to the tens of thousands of disciples in Qinghua Academy. From a certain perspective, this also shows that the competition in this power test must be very fierce. Interesting. In this case, these should be all the elite disciples of Qinghua Academy. Xiao Xian thought and walked into the crowd. As expected, he saw many familiar people among the crowd. Qinglong, Kong Dao, and Meng Fan glanced at him coldly. Wu Bingqing's eyes were indifferent, as if she didn't notice him. The other genius disciples next to him seemed to be a little hostile to him, and they all seemed to know that there was someone like them. Some disciples even avoided him specifically. It was as if Xiaoxian was a scourge. Everyone line up. Participate in the power test according to the ranking of your lineage. After Dean Kanglong's words, a group of disciples also became quiet and lined up honestly. Qinglong is the top disciple of the inner sect. He is also the disciple of Dean Kanglong. He is standing at the front, so naturally there is no need for others to say anything. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. The energy of Daolai is divided according to the colors of the rainbow. Xiaoxian glanced at it, and it was clearly written on the power stone. The stronger a person's power, the closer he can get to the color in front. See this? He couldn't help but be a little curious. What color would the green dragon with the blood of the dragon be? Boom. Qinglong walked up to the Daolai stone, twisted his neck, used his Daolai, and directly bombarded the Daolai stone. A huge force hit it. A black vortex appeared on the Daolai stone, and it actually instilled such powerful power into the Daolai stone. Then a colorful color appeared on the Daolai stone. Orange color. It's actually orange. Amazing, didn't expect such a move. For a moment, the disciples next to him were also secretly surprised. Red and orange are the top two colors. This is enough to show that the power of Qinglong is strong enough to rank second. Good. For this result, Kanglong was obviously very satisfied. He nodded and motioned for Qinglong to go on. On the other hand, after seeing such a situation, some people's attention was attracted. They all cast envious looks. With the second level of power, it was obvious that he would be able to easily get a spot in the heavenly flame baptism. However, this is not beyond the expectations of others. After all, Qinglong is also a powerful person, and he is the number one disciple in the inner section. It would be abnormal not to get the baptism quota of Tianyan and other disciples. There wasn't much fluctuation in their hearts. What they need to compete for are 3 places besides Qinglong and Wu Bingqing. Next there were several disciples from Wang Ao's lineage. Except for the hole cutter, which barely reaches the yellow level, most of the others are green or even lower. After that, it was Lu Lianyi's lineage. As expected, Wu Bingqing also made the Daolai stone glow orange, but this orange was much lighter than Qinglong's. But it's also solid orange. Much stronger than other disciples. Soon the disciples from other meridians also stepped forward, using all their strength to make the Daolai stone burst out with enough power. Among them, a few inner disciples will reach yellow. Most of them are not qualified to participate in the baptism of Tianyan. Occasionally, there are a few who will reach a rich yellow color, which can be regarded as hidden dark horses. These people are also written down by Kanglong's names one by one. Soon, the ranking came to Xiaoxian. As the only disciple of Wu Meng's lineage who participated in the Tao Power trial. As soon as Xiaoxian appeared, he attracted the attention of the people around him, but most of this attention was still curiosity and probing. After all, Xiaoxian had done some bold things before. Challenge Elder Agni. This kind of thing is not a big deal at all, because although Elder Lihuo is in the Blue God realm, he is more like a logistics elder in the sect. The strength is far inferior to other branch deans with disciples. Therefore, even if the challenge is Qinglong and Wu Bingqing, they will probably be able to defeat them. Even if some inner disciples use secret techniques, they will not be incapable of fighting. Therefore, many people are really curious now. I want to see what Xiaoxian's strength is. Boom. In front of everyone. Xiaoxian did not show any timidity, and the Dao power in his hand moved directly towards the Dao power stone. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 838. I don't know how capable the Xiaoxian is. The movements are done in a decent manner. Next to Kanglong, Bai Sheng's face was full of sarcasm. I think, although my disciple Kong Dao's power is not very powerful, he can still be regarded as the number one disciple after Qinglong and Wu Bingqing. Regarding Bai Sheng's evaluation of Xiaoxian, the deans around Kanglong also had strange eyes. In fact, most of them have heard about some things from back then. It is said that Xiaoxian was recruited by Bai Sheng when he first came to Qinghua College. However, he was rejected by the latter. It was Wu Meng who took action and cut off Xiaoxian. Therefore, Bai Sheng also formed a relationship with Xiaoxian. Ordinarily, as the branch dean of a college, Bai Sheng should be a little more reserved about his status, so as not to get into trouble with a student. But it was Xiaoxian who fought hard. After entering Qinghua Academy, practicing the exercises was like flying on a plane, with sesame seeds blooming steadily. Finally, he was qualified to become an inner disciple. Therefore, Bai Sheng was also jealous, and in the end he deliberately targeted Xiaoxian in all aspects. It was as if she had some big grudge against him. Isn't Dean Bai Sheng's words a bit too much? Xiaoxian is the one who defeated Elder Lihuo head-on, so his Daolai skills are naturally not too bad. As for your apprentice Kong Dao, I wonder if he has any brilliant achievements. See Bai Sheng targeting Xiaoxian. Wu Meng was naturally a little unhappy. Humph, Wu Meng, I hope your apprentice's strength can be as tough as your mouth. Bai Sheng was speechless for a moment, and he had to admit that Kong Dao did not have many remarkable achievements. Yes and no. You don't have to worry about it. Wu Meng sneered. Enough. If the truth is strong enough, you will naturally get a place for Tianyang baptism. You two should not argue. Kang Long turned to the two of them and said. Bai Sheng was originally a proud and arrogant person. Normally, he would not give in easily, but today, after hearing Kang Long's words, he just shut his mouth and said no more. Wu Meng didn't bother to talk to Bai Sheng. He also wanted to see what Xiaoxian's strength was. Before, he was secretly surprised when he heard about Xiaoxian's victory over Elder Lihuo. Elder Lihuo is also an elder of the sect. Although he is not very strong in the Blue God realm, he is still a skinny camel and is bigger than a horse. At least he can easily defeat the ordinary spiritual God realm. However, even Wu Meng did not expect that Elder Lihuo would be defeated by Xiaoxian. This surprised him secretly. I also became a little curious about Xiaoxian's strength. He wanted to see how far Xiaoxian could activate the Daolai stone, if it could reach yellow, or even orange. Then he still has a chance to compete for the last spot. Wu Bingqing also paid attention to Xiaoxian. Compared to others, she was the only one among the other disciples who wanted Xiaoxian to enter the baptism of Tianyang. Is this, orange? It's incredible. It's still orange, it's unbelievable. I didn't expect Xiaoxian to have such a powerful power of the Dao. So, his power of the Dao is not weaker than that of other inner disciples. An orange light appeared after the Doli stone appeared. Everyone's eyes instantly focused on Xiaoxian. To know. Of all the previous disciples, the best ones were Qinglong and Wu Bingqing, who were able to turn the Daolai stone into orange. Now Xiaoxian can actually make the Daolai stone turn orange. This is enough to prove his strength. What shocked the people present even more was that under such circumstances, Xiaoxian had no intention of stopping. The strong golden power is continuously being poured into the power stone. It seems endless. This really shocked the people watching nearby, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Xiaoxian Neng has the ability to turn the Daolai stone into orange. Doesn't this mean that he is also qualified to participate in the baptism of Tianyang? No. Dao power is still being instilled. It seems that it's not just orange, a sharp-eyed disciple shouted. That's really it? So, does junior brother Xiaoxian have a chance to break through the red? That's really a genius. If this is the case, isn't Xiaoxian's power of the Dao stronger than Qinglong and Wu Bingqing? All the disciples were talking about it. There were expressions of surprise on their faces. However, Xiaoxian's outstanding performance also conquered them. Being able to turn the Dao Power Stone red is enough to prove that Xiaoxian's Dao power is extremely powerful. The strength of the Kengshen realm. Xiaoxian also used it a little bit just now. Is it possible? You know, when Dean Kanglong announced the list, the first name he mentioned was Xiaoxian. This caused the power to become several times stronger. Xiaoxian said casually. There is the original power of the Great Avenue in the body, and this original power will play a great role no matter where it is. Yes, Xiaoxian was neither humble nor arrogant. He has rarely seen a disciple who can make a Dao Power Stone turn red just by relying on Dao power. Say it. The professors and disciples present could not help but change their faces slightly. You are qualified to enter the heavenly flame baptism. Xiaoxian was unwilling to say more about this. Although he had not reached the Kengshen realm, he could roughly judge it. All the disciples also focused on Xiaoxian. For a while. But even so, his identity as the founder Yuanling may not be revealed. Speaking of which, this can be regarded as his unknown trump card. I can't tell you the secret technique. He couldn't believe that Xiaoxian, who was unknown before, could actually have such great abilities. In Kanglong's view, the strength seems to be only the great perfection of the spiritual god realm. Kanglong then thought thoughtfully, didn't you use the secret technique just now? Perhaps he can be regarded as a powerful person with the right to speak in the Mingzhao domain. Are you Xiaoxian? Kanglong couldn't help but take a few more glances, and there seemed to be a smile on his face. Good. In the history of Qinghua Academy's previous Dao power test, it's just the body's original power. Therefore, it caused Dao Lai Stone to react like this. Speaking of which, he is the founding Yuanling. At this moment, I couldn't help but look at Xiaoxian a few more times. Although Kanglong is the dean of Qinghua Academy, there was also a hint of surprise in Kanglong's eyes. Red. Dean Kanglong nodded and said, Xiaoxian, Qinglong, Wu Bingqing, Kong Dao, Mengfan, the 5 of you are going to participate in the Tianyan baptism the day after tomorrow. Xiaoxian's ranking is even ahead of Qinglong. If that were the case, would Xiaoxian's strength still be higher than Kanglong's? Did he become the first disciple of the inner sect? Enough to be able to participate in the baptism of Tianyan. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 839. Dare to ask Master. There are no rules without rules. If there are sects like Qinglai Palace participating in this baptism of Tianyan, we should unite as one and elect a leader. Qinglong suddenly stood up. At this moment, the face of the person next to him suddenly became more serious. Anyone with a discerning eye can see it. The purpose of his words was to target Xiaoxian. On the surface, it was for the sake of a small team like theirs, but in fact, wasn't it just to compete with Xiaoxian for command? What are you going to do? Kanglong seemed to agree with Qinglong's words. He just nodded and continued, what I want to say now is that if you have other purposes, you can tell them now. Good. That's my goal now. If the dean allows it, I can lead our college to become the party that benefits the most from the baptism of Tianyan. Qinglong said directly. Say it. The people next to me were still a little surprised. Kanglong has said before that this time there is the participation of Qinglai Palace in Mingzhao territory. Does Qinglong not even pay attention to Qinglai Palace? Isn't this a bit crazy? Moreover, there is a saying that you must practice what you preach. Now that he has said it, Qinglong must do it. Just like now, Qinghua Academy's Tianyan baptism team is definitely not weak. But what you need to know is, This baptism of Tianyan is extremely important. Other sects will definitely bring out their own sect's secrets and use all their elite disciples to participate in the trial. Under such circumstances, Qinglong actually dares to win such a guaranteed vote. Isn't he a little too confident? I wonder if senior brother Qinglong can tell me about your confidence. Isn't it a bit inappropriate to just give everyone a guarantee with just one mouth? Others are afraid of Qinglong. Wu Bingqing is not afraid. At this time, Wu Bingqing stated his purpose directly. For a moment, the disciples next to him were a little surprised. Many people who know the inside story know that there is an engagement between Wu Bingqing and Qinglong, and the two of them have always maintained some kind of relationship. Although Wu Bingqing was very disgusted with this engagement. But what I have to admit is that the Wu family still hopes to promote this relationship. But now, in front of so many people, Wu Bingqing doesn't give any face to Qinglong. Doesn't this make it difficult for the latter to step down? Junior sister, don't worry. I, Qinglong, are definitely not just a person with one mouth. With the dragon bloodline in me, I am invincible under the blue god realm. Qinglong smiled slightly. Even some 1-star and 2-star Kangshen realms are definitely no match for me. Say it. Many people present looked at Qinglong with strange eyes. In fact, they also know that what Qinglong said is true. With the dragon bloodline in Qinglong, he has indeed reached the point of being invincible under the blue god realm. Only, they are even more curious. Qinglong said that he could defeat a strong man with 1 or 2 stars in the blue god realm. Is this true? Within Qinghua College, there are some branch elders and branch deans who are above this level. If you follow Qinglong's statement, doesn't it mean that his current strength is stronger than that of ordinary branch deans? At this point, could it be that Qinglong also approved it? Good. Qinglong's dragon bloodline has almost awakened. Even if he faces a strong man in the blue god realm, he is still capable of fighting. Seeing everyone's confused looks, Qinglong nodded slightly and continued, perhaps, with Qinglong's help, your Tianyan baptism will go more smoothly. Received Qinglong's approval. Although Wu Bingqing was secretly unhappy, she still nodded. On the other hand, Xiao Xian next to him looked at Qinglong with a playful expression, showing no intention of speaking at all. To him, what kind of squad leader was baptized by the flames of heaven? It's totally useless. It's just a guy like Qinglong who is so proud of his face that he would actively seek the position of captain. Ordinary normal people don't care about this at all. After all, truly smart people will definitely focus more on looking for opportunities when they actually arrive in the Tianyan pond. How can we pay attention to who is the captain or not? Isn't this putting the cart before the horse? What's more, in the baptism of Tianyan, you might encounter danger at some point. How can anyone care about who the captain is? On the contrary, if Qinglong really becomes the captain, then he will naturally have to take on more people and responsibilities. Protect team members and charge into battle. Such things are easy to say. Sometimes it's good to be a big shot. Xiao Xian is the clan leader on both continents. Of course not. For a while. Ordinary disciples should also have a strong balance in their hearts. He heard that Qinglong said that they should go to Tianyan Pond by themselves. But only when you actually do it will you know the dangers involved. Are you sure this isn't a joke? But after hearing this, Xiao Xian was stunned for a moment. But what made him feel embarrassed was Xiao Xian had no answer in his heart. As for Qinglong's command, I have known for a long time that senior brother Qinglong is very powerful and is also the top disciple of the inner section. If senior brother Qinglong can be the captain, naturally. Know Xiao Xian's current status in Qinghua Academy. But anyone with a discerning eye can know that the person who is most in the spotlight this time is none other than Xiao Xian. Could it be that Qinglong wasn't afraid of any danger they would encounter on the road? If it makes sense, he will naturally obey it. If it doesn't make sense, Wu Bingqing will take the initiative to resist without his asking. After passing his Dao power test, the quota for Tianyun's baptism this time ended. But what it means now? It seems that they are required to go alone? It seems a bit anticlimactic. At this moment, I am naturally very skilled at speaking in these scenes. Before he could finish his words, Wu Meng and Wu Bingqing gave him big looks, and he couldn't say the last words. Under such circumstances. Or is this simply a test specially set by Kang Long? Good. However, since Xiao Xian can steadily dominate Qing Long in terms of Dao power, this is enough to prove that Xiao Xian is fully capable of fighting the latter head-on. Dean Kang Long smiled. Why wouldn't he do such a thing? Xiao Xian, if Qing Long came to be the captain of the team, would you have any objections? Qing Long asked. After all, the situation in Mingzhou territory is changing now, and anything can happen. Is it possible that Kang Long doesn't understand this at all? Although Xiao Xian has not had any direct combat experience with Qing Long. Logically speaking, as Kang Long is the dean of Qinghua Academy, shouldn't he take the initiative to take the 5 disciples there? In this case, you will go to Tianyunpan tomorrow. Xiao Xian is not stupid. Since he knows that he may encounter such dangers in the baptism of Tianyun, why do he still pretend to be a captain? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 840. You guys say it. If senior brother Qing Long and senior brother Xiao Xian fight, who can win? It's hard to say. In terms of Tao power, senior brother Xiao Xian seems to be stronger, but in terms of Taoism, senior brother Qing Long may be stronger. How do you say this? Senior brother Xiao Xian is also a professor at the Professor Academy. Could it be that his Taoism is weak? After selection, a group of disciples were talking about it. They talked about everything for a while, but what they talked about more was about the strength of Xiao Xian and Qing Long. And after the selection is over, Xiao Xian had no intention of paying attention to anything else, and just returned to the place where he lived honestly. He was originally a low-key person. But after today's trouble, no matter how much he wanted to keep a low profile, he just couldn't. From time to time, disciples would take the initiative to come to his residence to find him, either asking about Taoist skills or competing in Taoist power. There are also those who take the initiative to build relationships. Obviously, Xiao Xian has now become a celebrity in Qinghua College. He was a little helpless about this, and after casually agreeing to a few people, he left these matters to Long Ruoxiu. He knew that as the eldest lady of the Long family, Long Ruoxiu should be relatively familiar with this set of business. Moreover, anyone with a discerning eye should be able to see that after several rejections by Xiao Xian, they will naturally know that Xiao Xian does not like such interactions. Naturally, I won't come again. On the other hand, if this matter were placed on others, they might still be a little suspicious of these people's purpose of getting close to each other, but if it were placed on Xiao Xian, he is more familiar with it. He has done many shocking things before. Sometimes I am the first in the competition, sometimes I am the first in the secret realm, and sometimes I am the first in the battle. Every time I get a lot of attention. Under such circumstances, ordinary people may be very happy and willing to receive such attention and eyes. But Xiao Xian didn't care at all. For him, these disciples and professors who came after hearing the news were nothing more than relatives from the rich days. Such a person can flatter him when he is rich, but will also abandon him when he is poor. Of course, this wealth is in Qinghua College. It's about strength. It's here. The only criterion for judging is strength. Brother Xiao Xian, this time you can represent our Qinghua Academy and participate in the baptism of Tianyun. It is already a great honor. I even want to believe that with you in our Qinghua Academy, we will definitely get a good ranking. You said that, right? Yes. Senior brother Zhang Fulong is right. Even though Long Ruoxiu helped to stop it, most of the disciples did not have the opportunity to enter Xiaoxian's residence. But among these people, there are still fish that slip through the net occasionally. For example, the one in front of Xiaoxian was white and fat, like a big meatball. He was wearing silk clothes, an alchemist's crown, and square cloth shoes. Don't look at what he's wearing. But he is a well-known rich man in the Mingzhou domain. A proper rich second generation. It is said that Zhang Fulong's family has 3 veins of Tao stone, and the amount of Tao stone produced every year is an astronomical number. With such a worth, Zhang Fulong does not need to participate in any training at all. But he still relied on his talent to enter Qinghua Academy and became a disciple in the academy. On the other hand, among the academy, Zhang Fulong may not be the most talented one. But it is undeniable that he is definitely the richest one. At this time, he took the initiative to come to Xiaoxian. In fact, Xiaoxian was also a little confused. Because with Zhang Fulong's life experience and wealth, even if he does nothing, countless powerful people in the Kangshen realm will take the initiative to kneel and lick him. Why did you come to him in such a big way today? What's the purpose behind this? For a moment, Xiaoxian felt a little unsure. Come to think of it, senior brother Xiaoxian is still a little worried about us taking the liberty of coming here. Does he think something is wrong with us? Seeing Xiaoxian's appearance, Zhang Fulong also smiled slightly and said, "It's very simple. I came to see senior brother Xiaoxian today to discuss cooperation." Cooperate? For Zhang Fulong, who is full of business acumen, there must be some agenda for coming here today, but Xiaoxian looked at all this with a little curiosity in his heart. Really talk about it? He was still a little interested. When he was the leader of the clan, he also knew that if you want to become stronger, fighting alone is never the fastest way. A good man still needs help from his brothers. Since you want to become stronger, you must think carefully about how you should become stronger next. There is no doubt that, if there is a powerful family or sect behind it, then the energy required for cultivation will be greatly reduced, and it may even be very convenient for him. Is such that Zhang Fulong chuckled, drove away some disciples behind him, and then said, "Brother Xiaoxian, you should know that although I, Zhang Fulong, am nothing, I still have the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce to support me, so, there are some things, it's possible to cooperate. Tell me the story. Don't reach out to hit the smiling person." Zhang Fulong asked this question, and Xiaoxian naturally couldn't refuse it directly. He just continued, "But I have heard that your Wanjin Chamber of Commerce is the largest auction chamber in Mingzhou territory. How can I help you? After all, it's just a spiritual realm." "No, no, no. Senior brother Xiaoxian is too modest. Although you are still in the spiritual god realm now, it is not impossible to become the blue god realm or even the golden god realm one day in the future." After Zhang Fulong flattered him for a while, "What I mean is that if senior brother Xiaoxian is willing to help our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce fight once, he can get 1 million Dao stones, and he will also have priority in all the products at the auction house of our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce by the right." 1 million Dao stones. Xiaoxian was secretly speechless. This is absolutely an astronomical figure for ordinary practitioners. However, in Zhang Fulong's mouth, it seemed to be a normal thing. This really shocked him. Although the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce should be a large chamber of commerce with considerable strength. However, logically speaking, a large chamber of commerce of this level should not lack strong people to take charge. When did outsiders need to be involved in just a single operation? No matter how small a fly is, it is still meat. 1 million Dao stones may be nothing to the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. but Wanjin Chamber of Commerce started out as a businessman. Don't they know how to save resources? Would you give so many Deo stones to others casually?